What's up with it, y'all? Dang, let me say, when you stop like eating stuff with a lot of sugar or a lot of salt, everything becomes way more flavorful. Let me just say that before we get started, because as we know, everything has been rising. The cost of everything is up. Gas out here $6, bro. I'm like $6 a gallon, like. If you got anything under that, let me just say, yeah, you're lucky. You're lucky. Everything is high. Like I said, when I went to get some orange juice, like orange juice was like $8 for a gallon of orange juice. I'm like going, dang, orange juice $8, gas $6. Like everything is kind of, you know what went down though? That that threw me off. Eggs. Eggs went down. Everything else like rising up, then went up through the roof. Eggs went down. But, you know, I concocted a couple of videos to show like how different people are reacting to to the rising cost of everything and everything being so expensive. It's kind of weird because us, like, we black folks, everything been high to us forever. It always seems like everybody else is tripping off, going there struggling and stuff. And it's like, welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. You okay? It finally hit you, huh? Yeah. We've been there. We already been through that. Been going through that. I think that's why we don't nothing phase us, and people don't get it. Like, we're not tripping because a lot of things don't phase us because we already went through it as a people over time. Our grandparents, great grandparents, they went through it already. All these things, the struggle is real. It's always been real to us. But on that note, let's get into these videos. You'll see the name of the person right there in the corner, right here, right about there somewhere, right about there. And let's go on and get started. Rising costs in America. Reactions.
We bought stuff for a stew and some snacks and a plant. $150.
It keeps going up and up and up. People on lower end pay, they're hurting. This is the new normal.
I think everything is more expensive now, and it sucks. I don't really know what else there is to say on it.
Remember that in the Biden era, with the economy objectively stronger than it is right now, a lot of people were still struggling. And Donald Trump said, it doesn't matter how many times Biden claims everything's fine. If people don't believe it, if people don't feel it in their bones, to use Trump's term, it's not really going to help you politically. And you know what? Trump happened to be right. But now he's trying to pull the exact same thing, arguing that all economic problems have been solved.
That's weird how Trump tried to put everything off on Biden. Like, Biden just messed up everything. Every time something happened, he pointed at Biden. Well, the Biden administration, and they got everybody else doing that. They just follow suit. Well, Biden.
Exactly as he promised. And people don't believe it. Here's one more example. Again, just of voters telling reporters what they have experienced. Voters really don't give a damn about political messaging when their grocery bill is up. They react to what they're paying every week, and their grocery bill is up. It doesn't have to be by a lot to still betray Trump's promise that grocery prices would go down, and they haven't gone down. Now, we go back to the Biden presidency, and you remember that rising prices were hurting Biden politically. It didn't matter that inflation had come way down from the pandemic highs. It didn't matter that Biden and Harris and others were saying, Biden rescued us from the pandemic. In a sense, that was true, but it didn't change that things still cost more than before the pandemic.
It's like that's what they do. They'll raise the gas. They'll raise things up like $3-4 higher than what it's supposed to be, then drop it down halfway, like $2 after raising it $4 more. Drop it $2, and then it'll make it seem like, oh, it's a blessing. I said, but it seems like they do this all the time with a lot of stuff. Like, they'll raise it real high, and then they'll leave it there for a minute, then take it down just a little bit, and then we'll go, oh yeah, thank you for for lowering it. It's like, no, they didn't. They didn't. They got us. They always get us.
And they cost more than the year before. Because if inflation is more than 0.0, prices are going up, even if they're going up more slowly than they were before. When you hear people say $150 for basics, that's really simple and that's really kind of memorable in a sense. And so it lands a lot harder than whatever the inflation report says or the egg price report or whatever. Choosing between gas and groceries, or choosing between groceries and medications, which we've also heard people say.
We bought stuff.
Yeah, see, we've been doing that for years. That's been a part of our story.
So Americans
What's up
are
with it,
fed
bro?
up with the cost of living in America. And if you think I'm playing, check this out.
I went to Target yesterday and bought 2 bottles of hair product, a bottle of shampoo, a box of trash bags, and 1 Halloween decoration. $70.
Put that Halloween decoration back.
My 5% discount. My son's
Put
looking
that
at the
shit
cart and going, Mom, this was
back.
$70. We didn't even get anything. Yeah, I know, kid. And he doesn't even remember a time when you could get a 2-bedroom apartment in a decent area of town for $600 a month. Now a 1-bedroom apartment in a mediocre part of town is $2,000 a month.
1 bedroom, shoot, you paying 13, 14, 1500 in San Diego. It seemed like for a studio.
Gas is $5.49 a gallon. It cost me $65 to fill up my tank. Before COVID, my
What? That ain't nothing to fill up your tank. Wait, am I tripping? Did she say
apartment in a
$35?
mediocre part of town is $2,000 a month. Gas is $5.49 a gallon. It cost me
Oh, 65? Yeah, it'd be costing us 70, 80,
$65 to
$90.
Before COVID, my grocery bill per month was $350. Now it's $600 a month, and I buy the exact same amount of groceries. This shit is out of control.
It's
what
not.
does the bourgeoisie think that the outcome of this is going to be? They cannot possibly believe that extracting every last dime out of the working class by inflating all of the prices and paying us poverty wages is a sustainable economic model. And the thing is that I could be mad at the bourgeoisie all day long, but they are doing exactly what is expected. They are greedy sociopaths. This is what they do. I am
When you
more
just
mad
wake up
at
one day,
Americans
just don't go, everybody don't go to work.
fighting against this common enemy who is
Yeah,
robbing us
everybody.
blind. We are fighting over whether or not drag queens can breed
Don't buy
full-grown
nothing.
children. At what point are we going to stop taking this shit lying down, put our foots down, and say, fuck this, and not allow it anymore? We
I
cannot
feel
even
that
afford
part.
to live in this country. We can't even afford to die in this country. The Republican Party is...
I was saying that the other day, like, it's expensive to die. Like, you can't die for free. Like, dying for free is not even a thing, bro.
bought and paid for by the same greedy sociopaths who are robbing you, me, and our families blind every day. They are manipulating you into believing that they are going to save you from the problems that they created in your life. They have not walked a single inch in your working class shoes. They have no idea the struggle that you and I go through every day in this economy just to feed our families and keep them safe. They are gaslighting you into believing that I am your enemy so that you're distracted while they continue to do their dirt behind your back, because they know that if you knew what they were doing, you wouldn't vote for them anymore. Why are you listening to them? The Democratic Party, with the exception of a very small few, is filled with weak and spineless politicians who placate to everyone just so that they can get reelected because they want to maintain some semblance of power in Congress. Why are you placing all of your faith and hope in this party to save us? Your religious leaders are funded by the same corporate sponsors who have bought your politicians, and they are weaponizing your faith against you so that
Nobody
you are
ever says
distracted
that.
by a made-up enemy. Your
Nobody ever
neighbor,
says
your
that.
liberal coworker, so that you are not paying attention to the
And we be battling with coworkers, neighbors, and stuff like that. And the fight is not even with them. It's not, never has been.
Crimes that they are committing against all of us right under your nose. In the richest country in the world, 500,000 people are homeless when there are more than enough homes to house them, and millions of children are hungry or food insecure, having their one free meal taken away from them at school. 10-year-olds are being forced to bear the child of their rapist. People are rationing their insulin and dying because they cannot afford health care. The water's polluted, the air is polluted, the soil is devoid of nutrients because we have oversaturated it in pesticides. We're not going to be able to grow our own food in the coming decades. The planet is literally dying. And they are putting hotels up in space and telling you that they can't afford to pay you a living wage, and you are believing them. This period is going to go down in the history books as one of the most epic failures that America ever allowed to happen. Future generations are going to study this time in history and ask themselves, why did they not do anything? How could they not see? And if you're sitting behind your phone right now and thinking to yourself, it's not me, it's those goddamn weirdo trans kids, then you are the people that they will be talking about.
I'll be talking about your ass too. They definitely gonna be talking about you.
This place ain't gonna last 7 months, I promise you.
This place is over 7 months.
I'm telling you, from right now.
So if you got the Uncle Ruckus mindset, make sure you stay home. Don't come watch from the live stream. Check this out. So today we're going to talk about the mindset, the Uncle Ruckus mindset, the mindset that people only have with Black American-owned businesses.
Make me come back.
That's what they pretty much do done. That's why we back.
Make me come back.
Now the brother said, make me come back. This sense of entitlement we only have with Black American-owned business. When it comes down to other businesses, we don't feel entitled like that. We don't say, make me come back, right? And as a matter of fact, the businesses and the service be 0 to none and we still will come back. But only with Black American-owned business, we have this mentality that you should be lucky I'm here. You should be happy I'm here. Make me come back. Kiss my feet type of mentality.
You get 3 wings for $5.
You coming back.
Hold up.
You get fries with it too.
You get fries with it too. And a piece of bread. But if you get 6 wings, they ain't gonna do that. They're gonna charge you all this other shit.
Now this man have on a bracelet, right? He have on a nice gold watch, and he have on a big stone ring.
Buy something,
but he's
leave,
hyper analyzing the prices and going penny by penny and squeezing his pennies together. This is what I'm talking about. So I realized the reason why a lot of people do this, because they don't do this in no other business. If you go on a date, you're gonna go to that Italian restaurant, you know you're gonna pay $200. Matter of fact, you're gonna bring an extra $150 because you might buy the wine bottle or the liquor, and you might bring an extra $100 for a tip because you want to make sure you show up. You won't have no issues. But when it comes to Black American-owned businesses, we want a penny by penny pitch, and we want to hyper analyze on the smallest minute. We're gonna microscope and make sure.
Now, I'm not saying everybody's like that, but you do have a lot like that. Like we seen that. I remember on I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. Remember when Chris Rock, when he was real young, and he came in there and he's like, how much for the soda? And he was like, he said it was how much? He's like, can you put it in my hand for a quarter? And you feel me? Well, how much for the ribs? Can I just get 1 rib? And then you feel me? Then he pulled out a wad of money to pay for it. And he like, man, if you don't get why is you trying to penny pinch?
Figure it out and go.
You go anywhere else, we just cash them out.
The YT media, right? Create a self-hate type of mentality, right? That create implicit biases that make this kind of self-hate mentality. Because if you don't love yourself, you don't love people that look like you. So if I don't love myself, and somebody that love themselves put their worth and say I'm worth this, and I'm gonna say I don't see you valuable enough to deem you worthy for me to pay that price. That's what that means. I don't think you're valuable enough for me to deem you worthy for me to pay what you think you're worth. So I think you're down here and you should pay down here, right? We are the only ones that's looking for deals or looking for some kind of something. Give me extra this and give me extra when it come down to our businesses. And we don't do that with no other business.
What is this food garbage?
I know better because I ate it too many times. It's not.
And I'm going on your word.
And my question is, why did he assume that the food is going to be bad or the wings is going to be garbage, right? Because again, it goes back to the self-hatred, right? If I don't love myself, I'm not going to think the best of people that look like me. I'm going to think of the worst case scenario. I'm going to think the worst of the worst, right? So he automatically think that it's going to be bad, but he wouldn't do that to no other business. He would never go to any other business and say, well, I think it might be bad and I might be wasting my money. No, he's going to do that to Black American-owned business. This is what I'm talking about, that ruckus mentality.
This place ain't gonna last 7 months, I promise you.
This place is over
This place, I'm telling you, from right now, this place ain't gonna go long.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you wrong.
Now you putting the voodoo on them, the
Hyperanalyzing
hex.
heavy scrutiny on a Black American business is always in direct correlation with the self-hatred within inside self. Always. Whenever somebody say, well, Black business is too expensive or Black business have too much attitude, that's pretty much self-hatred within inside self. Notice he said this business wouldn't last 7 months. Why would somebody say that? Would you say that to any other business? Would you say that to any other business? This business not gonna last in 7 months. You would never say that to no other business, but that's the self-hate and that's the hatred he has towards other people. I'm gonna give you a prime example. I went to the first ever halal before all the halals came out. I went to the first ever halal. It was called the Halal Gods in New York.
Hey, you know what's crazy, right? Because we'll say like Black people do this to Black-owned businesses, but man, look, this is one thing. All the Indians do it. Like here, not the Native American Indians, the other Indians, bro. They do it off having to pay 60 cents on something. They be looking at you like, no, can I just pay 30? And you like, nah, you see, it's that price right there. The price is on there. They try to talk you down from something costing 60 cents. It don't matter what it is. Like, I get that a lot from them. You feel me? Especially when I was driving the bus. Like, they get on the bus, bro, they is not trying to pay that fare. They is trying to slide by. They'll even put 30 cents in or something like that. Like, I never care, but I still be looking like, dang, you know you got it. Like, it's only $2.50. It's like they try to get by on everything.
When we look at the 1700s and the 1800s census records, it becomes clear who was actually here during the era of American slavery. Reparations are not about creating communal abundance. They are about rectifying and repairing the specific harms of slavery and the systems that allowed it. There is only one group whose ancestors were present for everything Debbie and Paige lectures about: the full arc of American chattel slavery. The need to buy and mortgage family members is a peculiar practice that only happened here. So is the racial terror that followed and the legal exclusion that lasted for generations. This was unique to this soil, and it happened to a specific lineage. It is not everyone's history, and that is why it is not everyone's to claim it. During the draft riots, whose ancestors were here? Who endured the racial climate of that era? Whose ancestors are buried in those historic burial grounds tied to slavery in this city? Definitely not Sheila Jackson Lee's. Her ancestors are buried in the Caribbean, and I would assume in Jamaica, where we are the descendants of American freedmen, not people whose families chose to immigrate to America later. So the psychological harms of lynching and racial terror were imprinted on us. Redlining is a form of the badges and incidents of slavery, not a random policy. It was a continuation of the same using new tactics. And before the 1960s, before we fought for equality and in immigration policies, the Afro-immigrant population in the United States was statistically tiny, less than 1% of the Black population nationwide. That matters because reparations must be tied to the people who were actually harmed, not to those who arrived after the fight for equality opened the doors. I'm glad General Counsel Attorney Sneed Williams is here. She was present when her husband, Jemani Williams, asked to be included in the claims his ancestors were not present for. That request showed a misunderstanding of constitutional law, and she was also present when Camilla Moore Esquire laid out a constitutional framework in detail. I hope she uses her legal expertise to explain to her husband constitutional law. Dr. Malveaux mentioned the billions of dollars. Meanwhile, this city spent $10 billion on illegal. No commission, no studies, no lineage requirement. But when it comes to the people whose ancestors built this country, suddenly everyone wants to claim make our claim unconstitutional.
Please. Yeah, that's the first thing they do. Like, which is crazy. Like, they give shit to immigrants before they give it to us. That's for damn sure. And we've been knowing that for a long time. We just never said anything. They always tell us, to suck it up. We sucked it up for too damn long. That's all we ever did was suck it up. And but it's wild, bro. These people be crazy, bro. Delusional. Everybody say delusional. I think need to be a bigger word for that, because that shit is
Are y'all not tired?
Retarded.
No, seriously, are y'all not tired of this conversation?
Black Americans are raising the cost of living in countries abroad.
And it's just really making
I ain't seen that.
How scary it is for people to see unity amongst the diaspora, and we not even realizing it. They just laying in our faces. I've been seeing all this going around thinking that all these Black Americans specifically that are going to all these other countries, and then we're driving up the cost of everything. Like, as someone who currently now lives in Ghana, like, do y'all really think that we're coming to these places and we're saying, no, my friend, please don't charge me what you charge the locals. No, charge me what you charge foreigners. That's what I want. Do y'all think that's what we're saying? Do you think we want to be price gouged? Like, we are literally leaving our countries in droves because we are up to our necks in debt and we don't even have the same opportunity in other countries. And we just trying to get a relief, and we finally find it in these other countries that align with us. And to see, like, especially our people coming at us, especially, I've had people in the comments that are from the continent, don't even live in the continent. They're living in other countries complaining about the same thing that they're saying that we doing. But they doing it. They tweeting that from Minnesota, Colorado, saying all these things. And it's just like, y'all, I really need y'all to think about the fact that, like, we're coming to these countries because we're looking for more quality of life, more fulfillment. We're looking to actually get more bang for our buck. And it's not to say that there aren't bad apples. There are always going to be bad apples. Like, I think that there's still this huge misconception that everybody that comes from the States has money. And that's absolutely not true.
Talk to me, I mute my microphone.
Debt. So most of us are up to our necks in debt. And even if you're in good debt, baby, you still indebted. Okay? I just really want us to do away with it, because the sad reality of it is we're just starting to see how truly magnetic the unity is being seen. That just, it's like, it's real suspicious that now you're seeing people, Black Americans, coming back to these countries in droves. And now we're starting to see all this discourse about our own people not wanting us, so we're having negative experiences. Y'all don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? Oh, it's just me? Oh, okay, cool.
For broke people, I don't even see how you even traveling to all these countries. You feel me? I thought your people was broke. I could have sworn I was hearing stories like that. You know, that y'all was, you know, and dang, y'all didn't have to run. Y'all just moved out the country. Dang. Foundational Black Americans, that y'all could do that? Y'all got that kind of money? I ain't what I heard. I heard a lot of other things.
So Americans are fed up with the cost of living in America. And if you think I'm playing, check this out.
We just see that. Is America too expensive?
Video after video.
I honestly don't know how anybody is surviving in the U.S. It's so depressing. Everything.
All right, so look, if Black people and other melanated peoples are going to survive America, then we are going to have to learn how to work together. We start small, we build trust, and we
I got a one batch for $45.
You go.
All right, so look, if Black people and other melanated peoples are going to survive America, then we are going to have to learn how to work together. We start small, we build trust, and we expand it until it is something that they cannot destroy. No one is coming to save us, and the truth is, America is not.
Man, what the hell is going on here in this video? That's all over the place.
Good morning, TikTok. So listen, now that we have managed to avoid a government shutdown, even if it's temporary, even if all they did was put a Band-Aid over the problem, a lot of American families will continue to be paid. And you know, and that's what we need right now during a recession, when everything costs so much money right now. We need for American families to be paid. And the federal government is the #1 employer in the United States of America. I mean, on the civilian side is Walmart, but if you put Walmart aside, it's the federal government. And American families need to keep their fucking paychecks going. And McCartney did the right thing by going on the other side and working with the Dems to avoid that. And now, this is how you know that the Republicans have absolutely no respect for Americans, for other members of their party, and what their agenda truly is, because now they're going after McCartney. But you know what? This is what happens when your party doesn't elect you to lead it because they think that you are the best person for the job, or because they have so much respect for you and your leadership. This is what happens when you go and you make backdoor deals with members of your party, shady members of your party, in exchange for their vote. A vote that will put you in a position of leadership. And your vote, because it went down that way, you're really not even in a position of leadership. That's just all on paper. The people who are leading are the people who can strip you of that power at any given moment, because they gave you that vote when they really didn't want to give it to you in the first place, because you made some kind of, it was some kind of quid pro quo going on. There used to be a time, and another big problem is that the Republicans, they just don't know how to legislate. And a large part of that is because the Republicans are literally just nominating and electing anybody. People who did not graduate high school, people who do not hold degrees, just uneducated idiots are just running amok. And they are the ones that's running the show. And that's why nothing is getting done. It used to be a time when freshman members of Congress would come in and they could be led by the older members of Congress. They were coachable. You know what I'm saying? They would listen. But these new people, they come in, they think they know everything with their GEDs and their non-degrees, and they think they know everything. And they don't. And America is suffering. But you know what? You can't even really blame them, because it's really the idiots amongst us that are electing them in. And this is why.
I don't even think it's that, because I don't think they running shit. I think it's somebody else that got total control, and they know exactly what they doing, and all they doing is paying these people to stand up there and be a pawn in the game.
The same problem that Joe Biden had, and he should have learned from what happened to Joe Biden and avoided this problem. The problem...
Price gouging, yeah. The price gouging.
My friends, as Americans, we're dealing with increased prices all around this country. We're paying more money for things like gas and groceries alike. So it's at this time that the GOP believes that the best plan forward is to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, a singular action that will throw 30 million Americans off their healthcare coverage like that. Meaning that if you're a young person that's on your parents' insurance all the way up to the age of 26, you could lose your healthcare coverage. If you're someone with pre-existing conditions, you, my friend, could lose your healthcare coverage.
That's crazy. A lot of us didn't have
So
that
Americans
shit
are
anyway.
fed up with the cost of living in America. And if you think I'm playing, check this out.
I went to Target yesterday.
Why
and
they
bought-
keep showing
So
the same
Americans
video?
are fed up.
Everybody keep
So
running the
America-
same video,
He said the people
bro.
Damn, that didn't take long. Looks like Virginia's have some serious buyer's remorse going on. Play the clip.
I just got my energy bill for the month. Dominion Energy out of Virginia. My bill has tripled. Like, I usually pay about $200, on a regular, 300 on a high note.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
$621.
Good Lord.
That's more than my car payment. What the actual hell is going on? Yeah.
People still don't seem to understand that voting for the Socialist Democratic Party is not a good idea. Y'all voted for a Democrat, now you need to face the consequences. I mean, hell, after all, what do we always say? Elections have consequences. Damn, that didn't take long. Looks like Virginia's have some serious buyer's remorse going on. Play the clip.
I just got my energy bill for the month. Dominion Energy out of Virginia.
You gonna run that shit 2 times.
I usually go to a TikTok in a grocery store.
Plus, the shock black folks are not complaining
so
about
I said,
the
well, I'll make
economy.
some, ground meat and pasta later today. Do you see that? $27.76.
Hell no.
For 3 pounds of ground meat.
That's wild.
Oh my God. Looks like we're gonna have to start eating a lot more carbs. Or maybe going vegan. I mean, thank God it's just me and my husband, but wow. These are like $30 a pack. Unbelievable.
3 small bags of groceries, $65. No meats, by the way, no meats. 3 small bags.
Just sides.
I just went to Walmart and spent $100 on nothing. I didn't get any meat. I got like pull-ups, underwear for my girls, bananas, a pack of noodles, some sausage for breakfast, body wash, dish soap, new little scrubbers, and washer pods. And then an outfit for my friend for her baby shower, and then an outfit for my son. And $100 of that stuff, it's ridiculous. This economy is literally trash. I do not know how people are living and able to just go out and buy stuff all the time. I would love it. I'd love to be in that category, but I'm not.
A lot of people are working every day, yet they can't even afford food.
You probably not even over here, so we just gonna skip
Why,
by
oh
it.
why, oh why do poor white people vote against themselves time and time again?
Racist.
They vote for Trump and the other MAGA politicians only to have every promise broken, prices go up, social supports evaporate. Here's why. First, remember what I talked about recently, the psychological wage of whiteness. That term was coined by W.E. Du Bois to describe poor white folks being paid with social status rather than decent living conditions.
Damn.
They're convinced by the elites that they're better than black folks, better than immigrants, Latinos, LGBTQ folks. They're convinced that being white puts them in the same league as the elites. Of course, the elites know otherwise, but the poor whites buy it.
Exactly.
Because they're grasping at straws. Second, they are convinced
Everybody want that status quo.
that the people they're supposedly better than are the big threat in their lives. Not the rich, not the corporations or the politicians, but immigrants, black folks, welfare queens, LGBTQ, criminals, the usual scapegoats. Third, the elites promise protection to poor white folks. A politician comes along and says, I'll keep those people in their place, or I'll kick them out, or I'll lock them up. Or, more politely, I'll defend your values. They don't say, I'll make your life better. Well, they say it, they just don't mean it. They'll say, I'll make sure they don't get ahead of you. Fourth, they vote for the punishment, not the policy. When a law gets passed that slashes public housing or school funding or food aid, they think, good, that'll stop those lazy freeloaders. And they do some mental gymnastics that make them believe it's worth losing those things for their own families in order to see those problematic black people and immigrants and so forth being punished. It gets to a point where just seeing those guys
use
being
them
punished
against themselves
is reward enough, which is pretty sick. But that's how behavior works. Their housing, schools, and groceries are on the chopping block too, but they blame that on Biden. Always a scapegoat. They get hit by the same policies they were told would punish the others, and they blame the wrong people. The system fails them, but they've been trained to blame the scapegoats, not the cause, which is the rich people, the people they voted for. So they think the problem is still those people, not the fact that they were personally manipulated by the people they voted for.
Those people.
They're basically saying, I'll take the hit as long as you don't help them, or worse, as long as you hurt them. That is the psychological wage Du Bois was talking about, the trade-off between material security for racial status. And that's a crying shame.
Party since Reagan, for 40 years, has been trying to tie food stamps and welfare in general to black people and Hispanic people. And so far this year, And I find this, it's so sad that Trump with his racist, it's so sad that Trump with his racist rhetoric and his dog whistles has successfully divided the people that should be working together. Working class whites, blacks, Hispanics.
Man, I don't get it. I get it though. I get it though. The people in office just ain't shit. They ain't never gonna be shit. That's just what it is. So you keep putting your money on them, you know, and you keep believing in them, but they never was for the people. And it's crazy because at first it was a time where they was mainly just for white people. What we been from now here on out. And it's wild to even think about, but it is what it is. It's like shit, man. I don't know what's gonna happen. What we gonna do? We ain't gonna do shit because this shit ain't nothing new to reality. If you ask me, it ain't nothing new. It's been the same. It's been that trick that they've been, you know, they've been pulling over on us like since time began, and that's how come they keep the same code and they run with the same morals and they feed us the same stories, the same bullshit over and over again because we accept it. We accept it. And one day we're gonna wake up. One day we're gonna wake up and we're gonna turn on the grasshopper colony like Flick did on Bug's Life. He said, "Man, hold on, man. Why we keep picking food to feed the grasshoppers? Like, what the fuck is we doing?" Like one day, you know, we gonna wake up and we gonna see it, and you know, and things will change. But until then, it's not. And then we always say it's like weird, right? When you think about hope and prayer. Like we put ourselves in that hope status of always hoping, and I don't think hope changes anything. It don't. You feel me? Like it just don't, and it never have. You know, it took people in motion to make things change. So like we can talk about it, we can hope about it. That shit ain't gonna change shit, bro. We gotta put shit in motion, and that's gonna be the only way. We gotta raise our kids and have our kids in office the way that they doing. But that's the thing, we never gave a fuck about office. We did, but they just, you know, certain doors they wasn't letting our people in. And that's what a lot of immigrants don't understand. Is like they wasn't letting our people into those places to sit at those tables, bro. They just wasn't, man. We couldn't sit at the round table, so we made our own. We always made our own. And I think that's what just made us so powerful within ourselves. And it's crazy because I feel like they tried to exploit us to the world and show all these bad things that they say that we do to the world, and that backfired because they was demonizing a lot of things that we were doing as black people, and when they shared it to the world didn't look at it that way. Some things they did, but everything they didn't. They started looking at the music, you know, at things that we do, you know, the food we cook, all the way down to the way we dress, the shoes we wear, the shoes we said that were cool, and they started imitating it. And I didn't think they really expected that to happen. You know, they didn't expect that to happen because that's why when you see like a lot of movies, they always were, you know, had like more white people in it or whatever. The handsome man would be the white person. So like when you think of when people in another country you think of a real handsome man, the first thing they do is they look at a white guy. And once we start getting into TV, film, and all that, it started changing, bro, because we was making our own movies, we was putting out our own stuff, but then inside their stuff, we still, and it's like weird because even when we put out our own stuff, they made us limited. They made us limit our own stuff that we was creating for the world, for each other, or certain stuff that they had us even put in our own movies that we probably didn't want to, but in order to even make a movie or do it, you had to do those things. You feel me? Because they bringing they script writers or what the fuck ever, bro. It's like kind of weird, but you can see it. You can see how just us going through what we went through the struggles and everything, how we like really influenced a whole world, bro. Like that shit is crazy. Influenced the whole world, and then something like this happened. Prices go up. Everybody's struggling. Nigga, we been struggling. Bitch, we been struggling. We been struggling. Okay, you complaining, but when we was complaining because this shit was getting done to us on a mass level, you feel me? Like us, when it was getting done to us, like y'all wasn't saying nothing. Y'all was reaping the benefits. You feel me? It was like a Roman holiday. You feel me? Everybody was living off the struggles of us. And now, you know, it's getting to the point to where, okay, y'all struggling too. Now y'all want to complain. And it's like, bro, it ain't fucking shit to complain about. Don't complain now. Hop in the boat. Hop in the boat with us. You feel me? Now you know how I feel. Now you know how I feel. Like, period, point blank. Like, now you see, okay, this is what we was talking about a long time ago, and you barely complained about it now. And it's like, we've been complaining and talking about this shit for over 100 years. Now it hit your ass. Now they don't care about you neither. It got to the point to where, you know, the United States is not even the United States. It's just like a big ass fucking Amazon. It's like a it's not the United States no more. It's an Amazon warehouse. And everybody working it. Everybody is owned by the government. You feel me? You ain't even, that white thing is getting to the point to where it's not mattering anymore. The United States don't care what race you are. It's getting to that point. It don't care what race you are. You're just another gear in the machine. That's it. You're another gear in the machine. And if your gear break or it fall apart, they'll put somebody else in its place. And like, that's where it's at right now. And I kind of love that though. I kind of love that because it shows you motherfuckers that, for everybody that thought they was better than somebody else, you're not. You never was. You never was. You was in the same boat. You feel me? Just because you was sitting in some higher seats, you was in the same fucking boat, bro. And now I'm telling you, they don't care about none of us. They don't care like we think they should care. They care about their families, their well-being, then their people. Then everybody else comes after. But first, they got to start with their circle, and then their bigger circle, and then that circle, and then everybody else. If we got something to give you, we gonna give it to you. But nah, other than that, nah. That's how it's always been. I hate to say it, but on that note, it's getting hot in here. You see, I'm starting to sweat and shit. I'll probably be back later. It's Friday. You know, I ain't got no job. Alive over and over again.